So this is to give everyone a little background on both myself and Matt, where we came from, what we're doing now, and hopefully where we are heading in fitness.
Where you're heading.
Yeah, I know. So, how did you first get into bodybuilding?
Me, my first show was in 2012, and that was at the Miami Pro European Championships, which was my first experience of a show, and it was probably my worst experience of a show as well, being my first one. It was held at the London XL. I think it's called the London XL, where the current is it the Nightingale Hospital was.
Okay.
It was done there, and there was a mixed martial arts expo going on. So there's jiu-jitsu going on, MMA, and we had this. There was this little stage in the corner of this massive hall. You imagine like the you see when you've done Body Power, and you've seen the shows of Body Power. Nothing like that. Nothing. The stage was like 2 foot off the floor, and it was really small. The changing rooms were partitioning at the back of the stage. Obviously, girls and the boys each side. It was ram-packed. So, as an experience, as my first show, it didn't go down too well. It didn't go down too well. It was a bad experience on that one. That's how I first got into bodybuilding. The reasons why was at the time, ex-partner I was seeing at the time was she just started it, and I'd done a couple of shows, so I thought I'd give it a crack, and that's how it all started basically. Yeah. And what about yourself? What got you into competing?
Well, first, did you place it as the show?
No, didn't place at all. I remember doing my T-walk and so forth, and not one of the judges even looked at you. Not one person, because they was more concentrated on it. But it goes. It's a learning experience. I mean, as us as judges doesn't mean you probably just looked at the judge at that wrong time. And maybe they have looked at you, but it's from a first experience. That was my thought. Is not one looked at me, even though they probably did in that respect.
Yeah, no, that's hard. So I got into it. Well, I started going to the gym when I was belly dancing, because I thought that I needed to be a bit fitter. I thought, I needed a bit more strength, and I wanted to be a bit more athletic with my dancing. And that kind of spiraled a little bit. I did have someone come up to me once in the gym and say, "Have you thought about competing?" And I was like, "No, not really. I'm not really sure I could get in a bikini." And then I went to watch. I was a little bit intrigued, and I went to watch. I think it was Miami Pro actually, with my ex-boyfriend, and I was like, "Gosh, like that's pretty something." And like, you've got some big balls really to get up there in a bikini. But I was like, it's so glamorous. So, I could never look like that. But yeah, I wasn't sure. Like, I could tell that part of me was intrigued by it and kind of wanted to do it, but it wasn't really the right time. And then a little bit later, maybe like a month or something, I started my very, very first kind of diet plan with a really, really good guy called Nick, who does like all the BMBF natural bodybuilding. And I literally ate the same thing every single day for about 6 months for a holiday.
Was it the chicken and broccoli diet?
No, there was chicken in there, but I think there was only one meal. He was pretty good about his stuff, yeah.
Okay.
The only thing that was hard was that I still used to travel for work a lot, and it was hard staying away and still trying to keep the food. But I did my own training. And then I thought after that, I did that. Never thought I could stick to something like that. And then at the start of the following year, I thought, you know what, I think I really would like to do a show, actually. And then at the time, me and my ex were like not really going through a great patch, and I thought, okay, I need something new. I really need something to focus my head into. And I think I just went and bought a bikini from Veronique with Ladiva, and she said to me, "Do you have a coach?" And I was like, "No, do I need one?" And she's like, "Right, you should go and see my coach. He's just down the road." So I called him up, and I thought, yeah, cool. Like he kind of gets what I want to do. He seemed pretty casual about it. This is Mark Palfrey. And so, yeah, I started with him. I think I kind of started prepping about February, March, and he was looking at shows. I mean, I was like, I don't know what federation or anything like that. And then he basically picked PCA in Hampshire for me to do because it was near him. And that was June. So that would have been June 2018. And I think really looking back, like it wasn't a bad prep, and I did have a good show day and everything, and I qualified for British finals, which I totally wasn't expecting. But I would say I really mentally wasn't there because of everything that was going on. Like I'd split up with my ex and stuff, and I had days where I really severely underate and stuff like that. So it like, but I don't think I realized that you had to be perfect at that point on it. So
how did you, your first show, how did you feel backstage looking at the other competitors, thinking, did you think I've got this, or oh, I'm not sure now, as we all go through that?
Yeah, I think a small part of you thinks I'm going to win this. I've totally got it.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. Well, you know what? It was weird because coming from a dance background, I thought it's fine. I'll be all right on stage. I'm not bothered about that. It is nothing like it, and it totally blew my mind. Like, I was like, this is so different, because I think dancing, because you're moving, a 5-minute dance feels like nothing. Whereas if you're posing, even if it's 30 seconds, it feels like you've been stood there for half an hour. So I did find it quite tiring, and I would say. What got me to do another show was I thought, okay, these girls, I can see they're better than me now, but I know I can be better. I know I can beat them. I'm just not ready right now. So that just made me want to do another one. And then my second one was UK-UP.
Yeah. Wales.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah. Yeah, so one overall. So I obviously did prove myself right at the first show that I could do better.
That's right. Going on from, oh, you've gone off, hang on, sorry. Technical issues. I presume you can still see me, can't you?
Yeah.
There we go. So I just have to plug my phone in for a charging. There we go. Okay, so what inspired you to start that whole thing? Is there like an inspiration that you thought you could want to look like a certain shape?
No, I never looked at girls and went, oh, you know, I want that. It's weird though, because Isa Puccini, who's now obviously Miss Olympia, she was one of the very first people that I ever looked at, and I really liked her. But I didn't really have a concept of that bikini was a different look between each federation and stuff like that. I knew that I did like the IFBB girls, and that, because I think what's really nice about that kind of type of bikini is they still look really nice in a dress. It's not like it's not like you'd look at them in a dress and go, whoa, you go to the gym or you work out a lot, or, you know.
Yeah. Still feminine sort of look, still.
Yeah,
It's not
but they
overpowering
are,
as you,
but they do
like a
hold a lot of
physique.
muscle and a lot of condition
Yeah.
as well. So I guess it was more, I just thought I needed a new challenge, and you know, I did want to feel better about the way that I looked, I suppose. Oh, I want to know what I look like, Lean. A little bit.
Get rid of all the fluff. What do I look like?
Yeah. What about you? Did somebody inspire you?
Inspiring wise, I guess it wasn't more inspired. It was more of a fitness for me, because I've always been like sport orientated, where I played semi-pro football, and I've at that time, before I competed, I've been a PT for 4 years. So, and I've been teaching classes and so forth. So I've always been that around the fitness end. But I only started going to the gym probably around 1996. Yes, we're going way back now. That's giving a bit of my age away. But that's only one of the first guys. No clue what I was doing, because I felt myself. I was fit anyway. I was playing football and going to the gym. I started going to the gym. Always out as a kid. Back, I was always like got back from school. I would go on my bike or go down the park, play football. And I think it was only where I stopped playing football, my fitness kind of was like, okay, where do I go from here? I need my head. So then I started going to the gym regularly. Still not a clue what I was doing when I was going in the gym. And it was obviously up to then just pottering around. Never really looked at someone and said, "Oh, he competes." And when you see the big guys in there, so he's a big lad. He's a bodybuilder. Never knew nothing about competing. Didn't know there was like local shows like around like NABA and stuff like that back then. And what is still going, I think, is UKBFF. I think that was the only, maybe NABA, WABA, and UKBFF that were going. There was no Two Bros, there was no PCA or anything like that. So just pottering along. And it was only until like 2012 where it started getting serious, where I wanted to compete. So inspiration-wise, it was mainly it's more a fitness thing for me. I needed to keep active because I couldn't not stop still. It was always, I need to do something.
Yeah.
So inspired wise. But when you come in and think about being inspired, I think it was always people like, you look back and go to the gym back in the old days, like Arnie used to. That's the only bodybuilder I knew.
Yeah.
Back then, But obviously now the fitness industry's got more and more popular. There's a lot more guys that you look at and think, yeah, he's in good shape, and I take my bits and pinch some of their posing routines I've seen on, and add them into my own posing routine. Yeah, so inspiring wise, it was just fitness really. There was no really somebody I look at and say, I want to be like them.
I think that's the best way to be, because I do think that people, and I'm not just saying this for competing, I'm sure a lot of PTs get someone go up and go, I want to look like this person, make me look like this person, and show them a photo. But I think people forget that, genetically, you might never look like that. Not because you wouldn't ever reach that level of body fat. It's more just your genetic shape.
It's definitely genetics. I personally, this is my own opinion, I think to get on that Olympia stage, you've got to have good genetics and the willing to work.
Yeah.
And the will to work. I think good genetics and the will to work will get you on the Olympia stage. Like you say, if somebody comes to you and say, I want to look like Ryan Terry or Chris Bumstead.
Yeah, unless they're 6 foot.
Okay, I can do that. I'll take your money and say, you're not going to look like them because you haven't got the genetics like Mr. Olympia Chris Bumstead. Yeah, he's a freak in what he does, and that's why he looks absolutely amazing and why he's a Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
So I think even now people hit the the men's physique stage, because it's more attainable. I don't think the Olympia physique's more attainable, because that's just getting bigger and bigger, and it's bordering on classic physique. I think a lot of men's physique now can go into classic. They do train legs.
Kind of, yeah.
So I think for guys and girls who say, I want to look like this, I think that you need to lay down the laws, right? Say, look, this guy has got good genetics.
Yeah.
You will get near that, but you got to be realistic and think you ain't going to get by that unless you have got those good genetics.
Yeah, and not to forget that, okay, somebody might compete and they might have only been training in the gym, say 2 years or something like that. Like I didn't train seriously in the gym, really. I don't know. It was probably only about 5 months before I first competed that I really, really seriously trained. And maybe not even that, but I've always done something physical. So I've always had a level of muscle right from, when I was a kid, really. So I think people forget things like that, and I know an awful lot. There's an awful lot of figure girls that are old divers or something like that, or ex-gymnasts and stuff. And I think that's another thing is, they're probably more aware of what their muscle shape is and what their actual kind of the genetic shaping of their muscles. They know probably more in a way.
Yeah. So what part of, going back to the competing, what part of competing do you like and what do you hate?
Oh, I want to say I like all of it, but that's cheesy. But I kind of do. No, I mean, show day is amazing. Obviously, we all love that bit. But I do think that last year I said to myself, look, this is a whole process, and the process of it is much, much longer than the tiny little bit where you're on stage. So if you don't enjoy it, all of it, then it's not for you and don't do it again. So, I kind of thought that every day, even when I was on the Stairmaster for hours and, slowly dying like a little hamster on a wheel. So, I like that. And I think it's amazing because I do think that mentally and physically you feel much stronger. I mean, this year, it's got to be the fittest I've ever been. Like, I'm fitter than when I was in my teens. I know I am.
Yeah. Do you mean like as in cardiovascular fitter?
Yeah, I'm stronger as well. I'd say that my skin looks better. I feel mentally sharper. What do I hate? It is a bit. It's hard to not make it obsessive in some ways. And I think, when you're on prep and you're doing shows, there isn't really a balance. You can't really.
It's selfish. And when you're on prep, I think it's selfish. And in order to be the best that you can be and want to be, you've got to be selfish.
Yeah. And if someone tells you that you can have balance in prep, then they're definitely lying to you. I'm not. You can have it, in off season and stuff like that, but it's just, it has to be because you have to get enough sleep every night. You have to make sure that you're up at 6 or whatever to get your cardio in, and you just have to do those things. I'm not saying that you neglect everything else, like friends and family, but there does have to be there, or there might be days when you're close to a show where you're just run out of energy. And that's fine if you're at a place where you can give that. But I do think, and I think I've been very lucky that really for my shows I've been single, and that's been easy.
Because I was going to say, I'm quite lucky that my partner Dee's she kind of understands of what needs to be done. She does need to. She understands what needs to, and I've been very lucky there where, she even like preps my food for me. She gets that done for me at sometimes when she knows I'm absolutely exhausted. And it was even harder when she was pregnant, knowing she was pregnant. So I was prepping for the Pure Elite Worlds in 2015 2015. And when she was pregnant, I was prepping for the Worlds down there. So that was tough.
Yeah.
Then Oliver was born in January 2016, so I decided to do the Worlds again as a pro in 2016. So not only was I prepping for that, Dee had to juggle a newborn baby as well as doing that. So she was very understandable, and I owe a lot to her through those years, for that prep. And I think I'm very, very lucky in that aspect to have someone like that who understands. And I think obviously my last show was last year, because I am now retired, definitely retired. I think she breathed a sigh of relief when they called my name out for the last time on that stage last year. I think, yes, thank God it's all over. But yeah, I think that's the main thing I hated about it. It was not during prep, not being there when I needed to be and could be, because he did leave me a little bit selfish. And it's all right. Dee was saying, it's all right, I know you need to go and train. You know, I was going and training and felt very guilty when I was doing it.
Yeah.
You know, especially when she was pregnant and a 1-year-old, it was really, really hard. And especially when we was traveling as well. We traveled down to Margate when she was pregnant. Then we had a newborn. We traveled to London for the O2 show in 2016. That was very tough on her. But I'm making up for it now. I'm paying it back now. Trust me.
Oh yeah, I bet. No, that is a really good point, actually, that I would say on prep, like how I said my first prep, you know, I kind of mentally wasn't quite there. But I think that's another thing that you have to look at if you're going to compete. Are all these things in line for you to compete? Like, do you have a good friend and family base? I mean, my parents, would have done 16 shows had lockdown not happened. But I mean, you know, of all my other shows, my parents have been at every single one, even when I've done them overseas. And I just don't think you could do that on your own.
No.
So that's a big part. And I think understanding, like, my friends are great as well. I mean, when I've been to barbecues and I take my own food, my best friend, bless her, she doesn't, and they don't single me out, make me feel weird. Like, my best friend was like, it's amazing what she's doing, you know, and stuff. And I was like,
yeah, great.
But you know, like, equally, I know it's not for her. Like, she kind of gets where I want to do it, but she would never do something like that either. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's pretty good.
I said my favourite thing about competing is basically I've made a lot of friends through this, through competing throughout the years, and I'm still from. I mean, yourself. Now we met, was it 2 years ago? At boot camp. You know, I popped in.
It was about now, wasn't it?
And obviously, other guys, I've competed against guys who when I'm now judging with, and guys I competed with on stage last year that I've known for years. And we're always on stage because we're always in that age group, in the age bracket, and we're always competing in the over 35s or 45s. So it was good to you know, that little cluster of friends you have in that group. So that's mainly the enjoyment side of it.
Oh, some more friends to play with. Okay.
Still going. Some of the old friends are still going.
Okay, so going back to training a little bit. Favorite body part to train?
I kind of have phases where sometimes I love training legs. I get really into it and I love training legs. Then I go, I love training shoulders. But I think, I'd say shoulders is my favourite more than anything. Yeah. What about yourself?
I'd agree. I'd say legs or shoulders is my favourite.
Yeah. I think legs is a love or hate, where I love training shoulders. I love training shoulders, but I love or hate legs.
You know it's going to hurt, but you kind of are looking forward to it.
Yeah.
There isn't anything that I don't like training. The only thing I would say is I'm not too crazy on biceps, but
yeah. I mean, as a bikini girl, you haven't got to have massive biceps. You've got to train them, but you haven't got to have massive biceps, have you?
No, there's no gun show really with us.
How are you finding balancing work? Because you're working full time, obviously, and you're doing your training, you're doing these podcasts, and as well as everything. else
Yeah.
you're doing, and obviously life as well. Everything, life's on hold at the moment over the past
Yeah.
10 weeks, 11 weeks because of the virus. But and also, how you're finding that with life with the pandemic at the moment and training.
Yeah, it's different now. Like there's bits of like my work has changed, to be honest. I mean, I'd say not normally I'm a very, very busy person. I like to be busy, don't really like sitting around not doing anything. So as long as you have a routine, like I will always get up early and I will do my cardio before work because I like to get that done. And obviously then work, and then I would train after work, prep my food, do bits of coaching if I've got it. I mean, I still was belly dancing every Friday and Saturday and Tuesday nights as well, which is quite, that was the only problem, was when I got near a show, stuff like that was quite hard, because although they're only 20-30 minute sets, it's so knackering when you're really lean. And all my costumes were like falling off me and stuff.
Well, don't forget, I came with you one of those when you're doing training. It was so hot in that restaurant. It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable how it was.
I think I just fit it in because I enjoy all of it, and therefore I want to do it. So I will make time for all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little more, when I'm on prep, I am quite tight with myself now about being in bed at a good time and stuff like that. Even if I'm not going to sleep, just, reading or something like that. Now, it's a bit different. So work hasn't really changed now. I will still do my cardio in the morning, or I'll go for a walk or something like that. And then, I still train. It's obviously different because we don't have a gym, and I do miss that aspect of it. And the difficult bit was obviously because my show was pulled 6 days from when I get on stage. And it was more literally, I checked in, I think, about an hour or two before they cancelled it, and I was just saying to my coach that, this is the best that I'd looked, and we thought we're on.
How did you feel when you found out an hour later? How did you feel? You're allowed to swear.
To kick in, I was like, because I kind of thought, I had to be ready for that. I could kind of see all this stuff getting cancelled, and I thought, it's more, I think it was more the next day it actually hit me after that, and stuff like the gym closing kind of hit me more, but then I thought, I feel like now I've just wasted 3 months, because I've never really had an off season. I mean, literally I've had 5 weeks or something like that between. That's my longest I've had, really. And so I'd said to myself this year, okay, you compete early and then try and get your costume and then have a little bit of time off and stuff. So it felt like that, but then equally, we spoke with coach and we were just like, well, it's just more time to work on it. It's not really a bad thing, and everyone is in the same boat. And it's not like the shows won't come around again. So it's not that. I guess it's more, I know that a lot of people are in limbo, and that's very, very hard. And obviously, I'm not on my own in my flat at the moment. I'm at my parents'. So obviously that's a bit different. But it's nice, I kind of think when these situations happen, you have to take all the positives that you can from something and learn from it. So like, this is the longest time that I've had with mum and dad since before
I'm surprised they haven't kicked you out yet.
Yeah. Huh?
I'm surprised they haven't kicked you out yet.
Well, I think when I started moving my Stairmaster, they
Rosie, got another delivery.
I know, I'm like peering over the sofa going on the stairs. No, that's really nice. Like, I wouldn't have had that opportunity had something like this not happened. So, what about you? Are you mad with all
for me, work hasn't really changed that much. I've been working through, and so has Dee, because Dee obviously works in retail. So things have been quite normal, apart from obviously Ollie, our son. not going to school, which we was more concerned about more than anything, because obviously he's got, he can't go and play with his friends even in the lockdown, even though he's been out last week and he's been on bike rides with his friends and obviously not being in that distance, and he's enjoyed that. So keeping him busy has been more of a challenge than going to the gym.
He's super active, isn't he?
I think we've been lucky with the weather over the last, because we've been out for walks and stuff like that. So that's been good for him. Training wise, obviously before I went through quite a massive low patch after competing last year, and just feeling kind of lost in a way, because I'm not competing anymore. And it's like, I've got no goals. I've got no goals to aim for. What do I do? So it was kind of really couldn't be bothered to train at all. And I was going to the gym. I got there, and on some days I walked in and walked out. I just wasn't motivated at all. But I think it was just something that needed to be done, because I kept on going, I was just going to burn out. I think I was burnt out, totally burnt out. I mean, I think it was my body just saying, let's pack it in for a few months, chill out, spend some time with your family. So now, once the gyms are back, I was just getting back into it before the gyms had obviously had to close, and I found a balance for just training 3 times a week was plenty enough for me, and doing what I need to do training wise in the gym, doing 2 body parts per probably, or maybe an overall training session for 3 days, hitting everything for those 3 days, which I was enjoying, because I was getting really bored of the split training, leg day, chest day, back day. I was getting very, very bored of it. So I decided to spice it up, and I was getting into it, and then lockdown happened. It's starting all
Cut
again.
down in your prime. Cut down.
Yeah. So my future goals for me really are aim to become a better coach than I already, want to improve that and get more people onto stage now and open their eyes to competing and what it means, and to compete and what it entails, and the mental strength you need to get through prep and step on stage. Those are my future goals. I want to be a better coach, help people on stage. What about yourself? Future goals, obviously Olympia next year.
Well, got to get the pro card first. So pro card, I mean, hopefully this year, but you just never know. Yes, Olympia next year would be insane. That would be the goal one day.
Cool.
Yeah, more coaching. I mean, the same as you, really. Fitting in. My partner said he wants to get on stage, so that's
a challenge.
Yeah, no. I think it'd be good. Like, he wants to do something, he will really do it. So, which would be interesting, because I would like to see what he's like to prep and to put him through that. I think that would, I think I would learn a lot as well. I think that would be really cool. The only thing is, he hates having photos taken, and he will never smile or anything. So I don't know how that's going to work on stage.
I'm like that. I never smile. I don't show my teeth. If you look at my stage shots, I don't think I'm showing my teeth. It's just like smirking grin. My teeth never go there. The teeth are just grin.
It'll all be back shots. Everything will be a back shot. Yeah, I suppose stuff like that. I think just keep improving myself as well. Like, I don't just mean physically. I mean, I think I want to educate myself a lot more about training and diet and things like that, because you just never stop learning with everything.
No, you're always learning as a coach. Yeah. Everything's always developing.
Yeah.
So what do you think for the people who be listening to this, and I hope you are listening out there, let's say the average Joe who maybe is thinking about competing, and what do you think they need to do, and what's the first things they should be doing?
Go and watch a show, because I think there's a lot of people who think that they might want to do it, but until you've actually seen it, you would never know whether that's the look that you want, because you've got to remember that you you might think, gosh, these big bodybuilders, what an amazing look and stuff, but then you actually don't want to live like that, or something like, you know, I look at figure girls and stuff like that, and I think they're insane, but I wouldn't feel comfortable like that. That just wouldn't suit me, but I do think they look amazing. So I think there's that. And then I think, you know, if you're still interested and you want to do it, go and talk to a coach, because they obviously need to look at you. You need to kind of aim a little bit for a class in a federation, really. You know, and then kind of almost get all your ducks in a row. So make sure that mentally that you think you're going to get there. I mean, it's very, very good to do something like I did, where you've almost done like a trial diet before, that you know you've been through something like that, even if it's just for a holiday or a photo shoot, something like that. You know, and also it allows your coach then to get used to your body as well, and for you, I think it takes quite a while for you to become open enough to tell a coach exactly how you're feeling about things like that. And, you know, I would never say to a coach, if a coach told me to do HIIT training, HIIT cardio, I would never say, no, I hate that. But I might say, oh, you know, like when I do sprints on the treadmill, they hurt my knees a bit. Can I do them on the bike or something like that?
Yeah.
And I, you know, just having that kind of relationship with a coach before you start prep is
you've got to have that honesty with the coach. I mean, you've had it, I've had it, when you've had clients and you're bring your checking pictures in, and you're looking at the checking picture and you're thinking, what's not right there? What haven't you been doing? You need honesty. If you're not, I think for guys who are thinking about competing and you're getting a coach, I think you need to be very open and honest in your check-ins if you haven't been sticking to the diet and so forth, because otherwise that coach is he might even drop your calories, you might increase your cardio, and it's going to mess everything up. Honesty is the best policy when you're competing and having a coach. You've got to be honest with your coach, otherwise he can't help you properly. Simple as that, isn't it?
And even for you to learn about yourself. I mean, there's things that I coach now that, you know, I asked him about kind of like my lat inserts, like were they high or low or medium? Like nobody ever told me that. I don't need to know that to be on stage, but I need to know, you know, what my metabolism was like and stuff like that. So, and then I guess what else are they competing? Oh, well, it's expensive.
Yes.
You know, and, you know, making sure that you order things like if you have to get a bikini or your heels and stuff like that, getting that well ahead of time.
Yeah, I think for the girls.
Sorry guys. It's like you just got to buy some.
Like you can spend 50 quid on a pair of shorts or 150 quid on trunks, which is for me it's way too expensive. I spent my first posing trunks for £12 off Amazon. You know, that was it. I went a little bit more expensive for the Wills. They were £35 each. But
oh, I wish.
It is an expensive game. Yeah,
and I think, you know, also kind of trialing it a little bit and checking that you do like it. There is no point if cardio makes you miserable. There is no point in putting yourself through a prep, because why? Nobody's holding a gun to your head to make you prep and to make you stick to this food. So you do it like we all do it because we love it and we enjoy it. There's days when you want to eat the world, and definitely that cookie. But, you know, overall, all those highs are much, much better than, you know.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you've been there when you won the obviously the Welsh show overall. It's like everything was worth it.
Yeah, that was such a shock.
I you know, you say, well, I am number one. Simple as that, you know. And I think, you know, the relief, you know, when there's two of you standing on stage, you know that name. So you say, don't call my name, don't call my name, don't call my name. And when that name's not called, then you realise that you've won that show. And it's like, yes, that the emotion and the relief just pours out of you. Yeah, it really does. I don't think anybody's got a shot of me when I won last year. So it was like they didn't call my name out, and I think I dropped on my knees to say, "Oh, And just went, oh, like that, done.
Although there is some part of you that's a little bit like, there is almost a tiny little sense of loss as well when you do, even if you win, you're like, oh, it's over.
But in the back of your mind, like, where's that donut?
Yeah. And then you're like, there is another show, got it. But I love my donut.
Okay, so we do quick fire questions.
Yep.
Will I go first with you?
Guilty pleasure food.
Biscuits.
Oh yeah. Oh God. Anything that's sweet, really. Anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Hidden talent.
Oh. I can roll my belly, but I'm not really sure that's a hidden talent. I do it with belly dance. Yeah. Oh, I know I can do that. You know, like when you do these, I can do them all different ways, all different speeds.
I can do it.
The other way.
No.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
No.
Hidden talent. I'm playing guitar at the moment, so I guess that's the kind of a talent that's I'm venturing into.
I like that.
Yeah. Favorite place you've been in the world?
I really did love Madeira. It's weird. And Italy as well.
For me, it's got to be Venice. I've been to Venice. went for a friend's wedding in Venice for 3 days. It was probably the best 3 days of our lives that we went there. It was really, really good.
All those carbs.
And greatest of all time bodybuilder.
Oh.
Let's go. Let's not say bodybuilder. Let's go competitor. Yeah. So let's open the range up a little bit.
Oh gosh. I mean, Ronnie Coleman, I'd say, is like, but yeah. I think I really, really like at the moment, in terms of more posing, in the classic division, is Rough Diesel. Don't know if you see.
Okay.
Like,
cool.
Oh, he's insane. His posing, just crazy. And in bikini, Angelica Issa. Yeah, I think that might be.
I need to polish up on my bikini girls. I don't know.
Well,
right. For me, let's go. It'll always be Arnie, because of his work ethic and his physique. Female DLB when she was doing Olympia. DLB was awesome. But again, for not just her, for her husband Rob as well, their work ethic and from where they were to what they are now. I've always admired DLB, and I'm going to put another two in there. Our very own Ryan Terry. Yeah, I think he's always he's nearly there. He was nearly there, and I think he should have been. If he should have been there one of those years. Yeah. And I'm going to say Tom Coleman, because I pinched off for his posing. I think his posing is brilliant. So pinch off for his posing for my word.
I haven't seen him on stage in a while. Either.
He was really good, because he handed my trophy to me last year. Yeah, all done.
Cool. All right, I'm going to call you in a minute.
Right, I'm going to make me a quick coffee. All right.